Okay, so last time we studied the capacitor equation, and that is like your Q is equal to CV. Okay, C is the capacitance. Capacitance means it give you the amount of charge present on the plates of the capacitor. Okay, and capacitance depend on material. Okay, yeah, material, yeah, capacitor you can say, or capacitor. It depend on capacitor. Different capacitor will have different capacitance value. Means if this is your capacitor and there is another capacitor that is like this. So if you see to the area of this capacitor, the area will be A1 and this area will be A2. So area is different. So it means the charge deposition on this plate will be different from the charge deposition on this plate. So you can say that the capacitance of this will be C1 and capacitance of this capacitor will be C2. It will be different. Okay. Here huge charge will be deposited. So that's why you can say that my C2 will be greater than C1. Capacitance of this capacitor will be greater than the capacitance of this capacitor. Okay. Uh, so if you increase the voltage, okay, then your charge will increase. It means this is constant for one capacitor. Okay, let's say I am taking this capacitor C2. So the equation will be like Q will be equal to C2V, and this value will remain constant if you increase or decrease the potential across the capacitor. So so if I apply the potential across this capacitor, then here I am applying potential. Potential we studied last time the formula of potential, that is equal to work done per unit charge per unit electron. Okay, it is the work done per unit electron. So here we have lots of electron and here we have lots of positive charge. So this electron will get energy from this potential source and it will go like this. So as electrons start motion, so we can say that current is flowing like this. So electron will come over here, and when electron will reach to this plate here, then it will then that electron will deliver energy or will deposit over here. Okay, it will not deliver energy, but it will deposit over here because this is the capacitor. If I use a resistor here, then that electron will deliver energy to resistor, and then electron will come back here. But in this case, electron will not come back over here because this is the open circuit. So electron will deposit over here, and electron will not release energy over here because this is the storage element. Last time I discussed that the capacitor and inductor are the storage element. Only resistor is the dissipating element. Okay. Okay. So electron will deposit over here. So if you increase the energy over here, then the amount of electron will increase over here. So if I draw a graph like this, here I will take voltage because this is the independent axis. Okay. And the charge depend on voltage. If I increase the voltage, then the charge will increase. The amount of charge deposit over here will increase. So I will take Q on y-axis because this depend on voltage. So as you see, there is a direct relation. If I increase the potential, then the amount of charge deposit over here will increase. Okay. So as there is a direct relation, so the graph will be straight line like this. Okay. So this will be the graph. If you supply 5-volt potential, okay, 5-volt potential, then initially there will be 1 charge, 2 charge, 3 charge, 4 charge, and this amount of charge will deposit here on capacitor. That is, let's say Q1. Okay, so if you apply 5-volt, then Q1 charge will deposit over here. If you apply 10-volt and the capacitor is same, then Q2 charge will deposit over here. Okay, and Q2, obviously Q2 will be greater than Q1 as V210 is greater than 5. So now the question is, as I discussed that the capacitor is the energy storage element. Okay, it stores the energy, it will not release energy. So how much energy it will store? So let's find that. So as you know that the if you want to find the area of this shape, then you will take then the formula we studied in math is this is my base and this is my height. So the formula will be area will be equal to base times height times 1 divided by 2. Okay, and if your triangle is like this, then still you will use the same formula. But if the this is square and this is the width, this is length. So if you want to find the area, then the area will be equal to length times width. But if I want to find the area of this, that how much is this area, then that will be equal to half times L times W. So in capacitor, this is V, this is Q. Here I have straight line potential. So V times this is Q. Okay, so if you want to find the energy, okay, so your energy will be equal to this times this. Actually, the area under the curve give me energy. Okay, this area will give me energy. So if your potential is this V1, okay, and charge stored on capacitor will be Q1, then the energy stored will be this much, area under the curve. Okay, and if you want to find the area under the curve, then this Q times V and divide by 2, because this is the half of the rectangle. So you will put half. So this much area will give me energy, which stored in capacitor. Okay, stored in capacitor. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there is another graph which included in your book, and that is the now if you want to find that how much energy will be required for the capacitor to store this much charge. Okay, before going to this, I want to clarify you another point, and after that we will come out here. So as we know that this is my capacitor, okay, and this is the potential which I applied across the capacitor. So first electron will take little energy, okay, it will take little energy and will deposit over here. Why it will take little energy? Because there is no repulsive force. He will not face any sort of repulsive force over here, so that's why he will take little energy and will come over here. So similarly, the second electron, then third, fourth. Now the fifth electron, if you want to come over here, then he will face some sort of repulsion from these electrons. Okay, so he will release some energy and will come over here, will deposit over here. So as you noticed, when you put your mobile phone on charge, then after some time it will get hot. Okay, so that is actually the release of this energy when, like, if capacitor is near to full charge. Okay, then the electron will take huge energy from the battery, and it will deliver some energy over here. Okay, in capacitor it will deliver some energy, it will dissipate some energy, and then it will deposit over here. So that's why that energy which electron deliver over here, that will be released in the form of heat. So that's why your mobile get hot after some time. When you put your mobile on charge, then after some time it will get hot. So that is because of this. So now, so how much energy, how much potential you will require to charge the capacitor, how much potential you will require to charge the capacitor, that will be equal to this. Like if you want to charge this amount, if you want to place this amount of charges on capacitor, then you will require this amount of potential. Okay. So this will be the energy required. This will be the energy required to store this amount of charge, this amount of energy in capacitor. Actually, this amount of energy will be released. Okay, there are some numericals. So let's solve that numericals. Okay, this numerical is too much easy, straightforward. You just put in the values. Okay, let's solve this numerical. Okay. Okay. State the quantity represented by the gradient of the figure 24.7. Okay, state the quantity represented by the gradient. Gradient means tangent line. So tangent line, gradient of the straight line shown in the figure. So if you take the tangent line, that will be the capacitance. Okay, that will be the capacitance. Like Q is equal to CV, so tangent Q divided by V will be equal to C. Okay, so that should be the capacitance. Okay, the graph of figure here you will have Q, this will be V. So that is tangent will be Q divided by V, and that is capacitance. Okay. The graph of figure 24 point show how we depend on Q for particular capacitance. Okay, graph is given to us. The energy stored by capacitor is equal to the area under the curve. Okay, the area under the curve have been divided into strips. Okay, the first strip, which is a triangle, show that the energy up to 1 volt. Okay, okay. Calculate the capacitance of the capacitor. So if you want to find the capacitance, so actually this is the one capacitor. Okay, as I told you that for each capacitor you will have a constant one capacitance value. So here the if you want to find the capacitance, so let's say this voltage and you will take this voltage, then you can find the capacitance. Or if you want to take this voltage, then the voltage will be this, charge will be this, and you can find by using this formula. Q is equal to CV. Okay, copy table 24.2 and complete it by calculating the area of successive strips to show how V depend on V.
Sir, okay. In number A, do we have to find like 2 into 2, 3 into 3, 4 into 4, then add
no.
the capacity?
No. You just take one value, okay, on x-axis, okay. As the graph is straight line, so if you increase this value, then automatically your voltage will also increase accordingly. So if I take
it can be
1,
2 into 4.
Yeah, you can take this value, you can take this value, you can take this value, but then the charge will be this. Okay, you can check it by this formula. Your C will always be equal to 1. If 1 divided by 1, 2 divided by 2, 3 divided by 3, 4 divided by 4. Got it? That value will be different if your curve is like this, other than straight line, or if your curve is like this, then the value will get changed. Because if you increase this value, then the Y value will increase, but not uniform increase. Okay, it will increase, but the increase is not uniform. That small increase is not uniform. But in this case, the increase is uniform. Okay, copy table 24.5 and complete it by calculating the area of successive strip to show how W depend on V. Okay, we need to complete this table. So this is 1, 2, 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, and corresponding V is 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 3, this will be 4. Area of this strip, so area is half. This is half, and like triangle. In triangle we have width and we have height. Okay, so this is half of the triangle, yeah, half of the square. Okay, so perpendicular divided by base. So perpendicular is V times Q. So in this case, this is 1 times 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. 2 times 2 divided by 2 is 2. That is now 2. Okay. That is 2 times 2. That is actually sum of area of strip per millijoule. Okay. So that is 1.5. Okay. So this is the area of strip. This strip, okay, which is half. 1 times 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. This area is 0.5. Now, this area, actually, this question is just to clarify that if I say that this area is the energy, okay, so this area energy will be equal to, that will be 4. Q is 4, and V is 4 divided by 2. So that will be 8. Okay, 8. This is millicoulomb. Okay, so 8 millijoule energy. So this is 8 millijoule. Okay, I directly find it by using this formula. But the question is, you also need to clarify it by taking each strip. Okay, this strip, find this area, then find this area. Okay, then find the another one, this one. Okay, and add up all these areas and check that that will be equal to this area or not. So this is actually the question. So this is a 0.5. This area will be this one block area will be equal to 1, because this is this is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1, and this is also 1. So this will be 1 plus this is half 0.5, so 1.5. So this is 1.5. Similarly, we need to find for others. Here 3 will come and here 4 will come. Okay, 3, 3 and 4, 4. Now we need to find this area, and that will be equal to
2.5.
how much?
2.5.
2.5. And what about this one? That is
3.5.
3.5. Good. And this is sum of area. So this is 0.5. This is 2. This will be 3. This will be 6. Sum of area like this is 0.5. 0.5 plus this, that is 2. 2 plus this. No, that will be something different. This will be 2, 3, 4, 4.5. And 4.5 plus 3.5, 4, that will be 5, 6, 7, 8. So that is 8. And that is 1 divided by 2, V. So 1 divided by 2, Q is 4. And V is also 4. So 2 times 2, so that is also equal to 8 millijoule. Okay, and this is also equal to 8 millijoule. Got it? So plot a graph of W against V. Describe the shape of this graph. So actually your formula is W is equal to 1 divided by 2 QV, and Q is charge, okay, which is different at different interval of time. Okay, charge is different interval of time, and V is also different. So if I use this formula, W is equal to 1 divided by 2 CV square, then in this case W is directly proportional to V square. So if you check to this graph, then the W is directly proportional to V square. Like if this is your W and this is your V. This is your V. And if this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. If W is 1, then that's V will be 1. If W is 2, then V will be less than 2. Because V is the, let's take that over here like this. So this is V, this is W. If V is equal to 1, then W will be equal to 1. If V is equal to 2, then W will be equal to 4. If V is equal to 3, then W will be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then, and if V is equal to 4, then W will be 16. So 16 will come over here. So your graph will be exponentially rise like this. Okay, so it will exponentially rise like this. But in this case, I take W over here. Okay, then that is also rising exponentially like this. Like along with voltage, the if you rotate this laptop like 90 degree, then your curve will be same as like this. Okay, so there is an exponential rise. Got it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next question. Okay, so let's solve this question. You try after class. You try all these questions. If there is any confusion, then we will solve that in next class. Okay, in this question, capacitance is given to me that is 0.20 F. Voltage is given to me that is 9.0. It is then discharged in a flash for time. This time is given to me that in this time it will get discharged. Calculate the charge on an energy stored by the capacitor. So charge will be equal to Q is equal to CV, and your C is 0.20, V is 9. So you can, from this formula you can find the charge. Energy is 1 by 2 CV square. So from this formula you can find the energy. The average power dissipated during the flash. So power is equal to energy divided by time. So energy, you will get energy from this and divided by 0.01. So you will get the power. Just when the average current in the flash bulb. So current is equal to charge per unit time. So charge is this. You will take this. This is 0.20 times 9 divided by time is 0.01 second. The approximate resistance of the bulb. So approximate resistance.
V is equals to IR.
Yeah, V is equal to IR. Actually, in this case, the resistance will not remain same, so that's why they use this term approximate. Only in resistor, the curve resistor is your ohmic material. Ohmic material. You know what is your ohmic? I think we studied this last time in few classes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so resistor is ohmic, so it means that resistor is ohmic, so it means that if you draw a graph like this, V and I, then it will be straight line. Okay, ohmic material. For ohmic, the graph will be straight line. For non-ohmic, then the graph will not be straight line. So for inductor and capacitor, which is the storage element, okay, there is no dissipation. It means there is no release of energy in the form of heat, as like in resistor. So the graph will not be like this. Okay, it will be non-linear graph. Non-linear graph means the graph will be like this, either this or either this. Okay. So if you want to find the resistance, if the graph is, let's say the graph is like this. So if you want to find the resistance, then you will take a small pieces like this. As we know that V is equal to IR, and this equation is only for straight line. Okay, your V will be equal to IR. This is V, this is I. So if you want to find resistance, so you will take only one point, and at that point you will find the resistance. So let's say I am taking this point. So here you will take current, and here you will take voltage, and put that value in this equation. So you will get resistance, and that resistance will remain same at this point. That resistance will be at this point. That resistance will be at this point, this point, this point. But in this case, the resistance is changing. Okay, resistance is variable. So you will take lots of points like this, small scale. So if you see over here, the line is straight. Line is straight in these 2 points. Line is straight in these 2 points. Line is straight in these 2 points. So for this, you will get resistance R1. Okay, the line is straight like this. For this, you will get resistance R2. For this, you will get resistance R3. For this, you will get resistance R4. Okay. Then, if you want to find the resistance from this point up to this, then you will add all these numbers, like we do in maths. I think you did.
Sir, how am I going to plot the graph? How am I going to plot the graph?
Actually, that's you will take different current value. Okay, like here in this case, this will be voltage and this will be current. Okay, so you will take voltage. Voltage will get vary. Why voltage will get vary? Because the capacitor is dissipating energy, okay, but that is after some voltage. For first electron, less voltage will be required, okay, it will deposit over. For if you increase the amount of electron over here, then there will be repulsive force, so you will require a huge voltage. So voltage is variable, okay. So voltage will change, okay. It will be 1 volt, then 2 volt, 3 volt, and the high voltage is given to you, that is 9 volt. Okay, that will be 9 volt. So initially you will take 1 volt, then 2 volt, 3 volt. Gradually voltage will increase, and here you will get 9 volt. Then accordingly, you will take the current. Okay, and actually there is also two stages. One is the transient state. For transient state, there will be a current over here. Actually, that is beyond your level. Actually, we have two stages. One is the transient state, and another one is the steady state. And we said that the capacitor acts as an open circuit in steady state, and it acts as a closed circuit in transient state. Actually, that is the graduation level. So that is beyond your level. Okay, so you will get confused in here if I explain that. That what is the transient state, what is the steady state. So let's leave with that over here. So if you, but you just remember this, that if you want to draw the graph between voltage and current, okay, between voltage and current, then the graph will not be straight line as we study in Ohm law in resistor. Okay, that will be like this.
Yes, sir, understand.
Yeah, that will be non-linear like this. Okay, you just remember this. That is enough. Okay, so the question is how you will find the resistor. Okay, how you will find the resistance value if the graph is non-linear like this. Okay, on this line, the resistor value is same, only one resistor value. But on this, resistance value is not same. Okay, it will change at every point. So if it change at every point, so I will break all that line by taking small points like this. Okay, and here you see that the line is straight. Between these 2 points, the line is straight. Got it? So here the resistance will remain same. From this point to this point, resistance will remain same, and that is, let's say, R1. Got it? Like this. On this line, resistance is same, and that is R. Here I am taking R1. Okay, this R1 is the resistance from this point to this point. Then I am taking another point and find the resistance. So from this to this point, the resistance is R2, which is different from the R1. But from this point to this point, that will remain same, and that is R2. Then I will take another point, and here the resistance value for this much line will be R3. That will be different from R1, R2, and R3. Now, if you want to find the resistance value from this point to this point, you will take R1 plus R2 plus R3. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now the question is, they said that find the approximate. Approximate means not exact resistance of the bulb. Okay, if you want to find the exact resistance, then you will follow this procedure. Okay, we'll take each lots of points on this line. Okay, and find the resistance, and that will be too much time consuming. Okay, so that's why, and that is also difficult. Okay, that is also a difficult job to find the resistance. So that's why the question is find the approximate resistance of the bulb. So approximate means just take the final value over here and take the current and divide that by, like, using this formula, V equal to IR. Voltage is 9 volt. Current you will get from this, and that will be your approximate resistance. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now